Well, great afternoon. Lunchtime learning with the Burton Your Greatness Summit is in full effect today, y'all. I am absolutely excited about our presentation today and our presenter. It is none other than the hostess with the mostest. Okay, Mika Diamond. Hey, girl.
Hello, hello. It is so good to be here. My day finally has come.
Right, right. Yes, absolutely. I feel the same way. I'm like, oh my gosh, this summit, has been amazing. It is your time and your turn. So I'm going to step out the way and I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the audience and be brilliant and be great. Okay. See you guys at the end.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to each of you who are live with us today. If you are on YouTube or if you're on the Collaborative View on Facebook, on our social media pages, I am Meka Diamond. I am the host of the Morning Tea radio show, as well as the owner, founder of Visible Evidence Consulting Firm, where we help clients reach new levels of success through strategic planning, biz branding, marketing, as well as community outreach. I do some PR as well, but just making sure that you have an amazing digital footprint is what we focus on. And we have all of the elements, all of the levels that you will need in order to help brand your business. So I'm super excited to be here on today. To share in making digital matter, the 5-step process of planning and executing a digital marketing strategy. And so just excited about today, excited about what we're getting ready to share, what I'm going to get ready to share with you based on my own level of expertise. It could be some things that has happened that I've learned along the way. So I'm just super excited to be able to share with each of you what I've been through, what has happened with me, So welcome, 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 welcome. Making digital matter, the 5-step process of planning and executing a digital marketing strategy is what we're going to talk about. Here's some information about myself. I'm the host of the Morning Tea radio show, as I said before. I'm also the Houston Promote Her chapter leader, which is a women's organization, a sisterhood of women of entrepreneurs. So we grow all across the country. We utilize each other's services. We purchase products from one another and just, give education, some of the things that we have went through, as well as mastermind classes and think tank sessions as well. I'm also the host of Meet Houston Talk Show, which is a show right here in the city of Houston that brings everything that's happening in the city, some Houston fun facts. We have some conversations as well, so I'm excited about that. I'm also an executive with the World Youth Foundation, which is a 30-year nonprofit organization that caters to the youth. And I am new, that my newest add to who I am as the political chair for the Brazoria County NAACP. So that just gives you a little bit of background on myself. So these are the 5 steps that we are going to talk about today. What is digital marketing? What is digital marketing? We're gonna also talk about some digital platforms, some platforms that you can utilize when it comes to your business that can be beneficial to you and how you can use those platforms. We're gonna talk about your target audience, like who are you catering to? Like what businesses are your collateral, the content that you're developing, your website? Who are you speaking to? Who do you want to purchase your products or to provide services for? Then we're going to talk about KPIs, your key performance indicators. We're going to talk about that as well, because that is something that's very important when it comes to your marketing strategy. And then digital content strategy. We're going to talk about that. I know that we get with graphic designers, we get with website designers, and we have an idea of what we want, but is it really effective when it comes to our business? So we're going to talk about digital content strategy and what you should do in order to help you make sure that you're getting the exposure that you need when it comes to your business or your organization. All right, so let's jump right on in. Why digital marketing matters and how to get the most from it. So digital marketing is bigger than individual sales. It's the umbrella hanging over the top of all your potential clients and your customers. So everything that you need in order to help brand your business, especially during this time, during this pivotal time right now with COVID-19 and not being able to get out in the field and do a lot of marketing and have, newspapers, magazines, and things of that nature. We're going to talk about what you need to do in order to make sure that you don't get lost in the shuffle when it comes to digital marketing. All right. So your digital marketing strategy. How many people have actually put a strategy in place when it comes to how you're going to market your business? How are you going to bring exposure to your business? Or do you just hire individuals that have a level of expertise in certain areas and you just utilize them without knowing? I don't have a strategy. Like, I don't have anything to something that I can go with in order to know one step to the next in order to make sure that my strategy is actually effective. So we're going to talk about that. So the foundation of your online marketing plan, with no strategy, you have no direction. So this is something that's very, very pivotal when it comes to making sure that you're doing the right things when it comes to marketing and a strategy, especially in digital marketing. Taking into account your vision, your mission, and your business goals. A digital marketing strategy will define a realistic action plan and outline the steps you need in order to achieve your goals. So how else can you achieve the goals without knowing step by step, what do I need to do in order to make sure that it's effective? And we're going to talk about that today. All right. So one of the biggest questions that you need to ask is, do your brand have brand awareness? Like, do you have enough exposure in your brand? And if you don't, what do you do in order to make sure that you bring exposure to your brand? So what is digital marketing? Some of you may not know what digital marketing. I know right now this is pretty much the only effective way that we have to bring exposure in our businesses. And we're going to talk about why it's beneficial, digital versus offline marketing. So we're going to talk about that as well. So digital marketing is doing marketing of products, services, brands, or people on the internet using digital devices like laptops, tablets, mobile phones. And I know there are so many other digital devices that you can utilize, but these are just a few. So first you have to start from the beginning. Your product and your details, like what are you bringing to the marketplace? What is it that you have that you're bringing to the marketplace? Then you have to choose your digital devices, because as we know, some digital devices, some things may look better, some things may not. So you have to understand the devices that you're going to use as well. And then the promoting the services, the destination. What platforms are you actually using and utilizing in order to make sure that your brand, your product, your services are being brought exposure to? So what are you using? What platforms? And we're going to talk about one platform that's different from the next. And we're going to talk about why is it different when you're putting certain things out and you're building content and collateral, why it's important to know which platform that you're utilizing. Types of digital marketing platforms. So here are some types of digital marketing platforms. So you have websites, you have social media, of course, content, blogs, articles, videos, podcasts, you have TV shows, email marketing, online advertising, mobile apps, you have e-commerce websites, you have the search engines, and there's so many more other platforms that you can utilize, like YouTube, and so Twitter. Those are some other ones as well. So those are some different platforms that you can use when it comes to marketing. And so you have to know what you're going to do on each one of these. What type of content do you put? I know a lot of people, they feel like one thing that's being built can be put on every platform, and that is not true. And we're going to talk about why it's not true and why is it beneficial to know and understand what you're building and what platform you're putting on to make sure that you get the maximum exposure that you need. So let's talk about social media marketing. All right. So one of the biggest things that I have heard about social media marketing, and I was speaking about this the other day, is social media marketing is not the close of the deal. Social media is not the site that you are to look to for people to actually purchase your products or your services. Social media is just a platform for you to build relationships, for you to bring attention, exposure to what you are selling or providing a service, or if you're selling merchandise, whatever the case may be. It's a platform for you to build relationships. It is not the close the deal site. I know a lot of people get frustrated because they don't get the engagement, they don't get the likes, they don't have many followers, but there's a strategic method when it comes to making sure that you're doing whatever is necessary in order to get the engagement, in order to get the followers, in order to drive them to your website. And we're going to talk about that. Social media marketing is also about listening to what your customers are saying. What is the marketplace saying in social media, on social media? You have certain groups that are specifically asking for certain things, which will be a target audience that we're going to talk about. There's polls on social media if you want to put something out there and do a dry run, if you want to do a drip campaign to see how those in groups or on your social media platforms will relate to some of the things that you're talking about. But it's all about building relationships. When you build the relationships to a social media platform such as Facebook, people are more receptive in purchasing your items. They're more receptive in, they trust you because you're constantly putting out content, you're constantly saying things, putting out polls and things of that nature in order to drive them to build a relationship. Once you build the trust and have the relationship, anything that you put out. If they don't need it, they will refer someone else that needs your product or your service. So it's a way for you to build relationships. I know a lot of people think, or get frustrated because of them not, again, not getting the engagement, or they're not getting the sale, the close of the deal. But it's just, if you know that it's a platform to utilize in order for you to build relationships, then you'll look at it differently. You'll take more time to speak. You'll take more time to say thank you. You'll take more time to have more engagement with other people on social media platforms in order for them to pay attention to the things that you're putting out as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Also, there's poll questions, there's content teasers, blog posts, and we're going to talk about how social media is really good when it comes to the analytics side, when we talk about the KPIs and things of that nature. So yes, that is what social media is for, building relationships. It is not the close all in deal. That's not what it is. It's to drive people to your websites, your potential clients, your potential customers, to your websites or places where they can purchase your services or your products. All right, so let's get into online digital marketing versus offline digital marketing. And then we're going to go into our target market. We're going to understand what the target market is. So let's talk about the difference in online versus offline marketing. First of all, with digital marketing, it's internet globally. So you can reach clients, potential customers across the world using a digital platform. So that's number one, which is very key. Your online marketing has an advantage of selling to clients for 24 hours a day, 7 days out of the week. It's like it don't close. Your business doesn't close. They can go online and purchase a product. They can go online and pay for a specific workshop. You can go online, whatever the case may be, it just does not close, right? And you can sell all over the country. Plus, it's lower operation costs. I don't know about any of you, but if you have ever went out into the marketplace, if you ever went and got some things printed and you had to do the legwork of taking it to different places and putting flyers in different places and different things, and you come out and they sitting all on the ground or on the floor because the person didn't take it serious enough to either put it in their car, their purse, or whatever. And so you lose a lot of marketing dollars when it comes to that. Also, there's no tracking method. There's no tracking of, yes, I have these specific items. I purchased 5,000 flyers. I put them in at a business, but I didn't get any return. I didn't get a return on my investment. Why didn't I get a return on my investment? Because one, I didn't build a relationship. We talk about elevator pitches and things of that nature in order to get people interested to have a meeting with you, to take things a little bit further. But with online marketing, you can track things. You can track your engagement. You can track how many people are following you. You can track when you have to go to your groups. You can look at how many new people followed me, how many people watched my video, how many people went to my website and saw some of the things that, how long were they on the website. So those are the things, that the different analytics and things that you can do when it's advertising online versus offline. Of course, it's lower cost. And there's so many things that are now that are added through apps that you don't even have to particularly pay for, that will help you with bringing exposure to your business with digital marketing. It also has the aggressive CEOs beyond your geography, right? So you can put in demographics. You can say, I want a target audience of this, I want a target audience of that, and you can look at the demographic. You can put your own demographics to be able to say, this is who I want to potentially be a client or potentially be a customer. So those are some of the things that are advantages of online versus offline. I always say, newspapers, magazines. How many times have we gotten a magazine and we looked at the sale papers on the inside of the magazines of the newspaper? A lot of times we don't. It has to be something that we really need, or it has to be something that someone has shared with us, or it literally has to jump out and say, look at me, when it comes to the newspaper and things of that nature. But if you're consistent utilizing your social media platforms with digital marketing as well as other platforms as well, then you will constantly have some type of exposure, and it'll be beneficial for you and your business. So let's get into the target market. I feel I have a lot of clients that they have no idea who their target market is, or where should they go once they realize who they're targeting. And so let's talk about that. So 5 keys to understanding your target market. So let's talk about it. Who are you talking to with your products? Who are you trying, when you're going in the marketplace, who is it that you're talking to? That's your target market. If you have a children's book, then your target market will be children. If you know that you have an adult book, then your target market would be adults. You can also do demographics with ages. You could do demographics as far as where you're targeting and all of those things. So understanding your audience is critical to your digital strategy success. Who buys your products or services? This will define which networks you should focus on. And I talk a lot about target audiences and your target market because it leads to so many things after. A lot of people put out content for everybody, but if you understand who you're targeting, you will target those people by what you put out. So let's talk about 5 keys to understanding your target market. So we talked about demographics. 101, your age, gender, occupation, education, the income. Sometimes we look at the income. Taking good notes, write down everything that you learned from different people, organize, analyze, and evaluate. Exercise your artistic side, draw a physical picture, include all of the characteristics of your ideal customer. Be sociable. That's one of the things with social media. Be sociable, be a real person, engage in a social conversation, ask questions, and give answers. Watch and listen, social media, we talked about that, focus groups, forums, blogs, and surveys. So if you pay attention to any of these things, you can put together your own target market based on the specifics that you know about the clients that you're trying to reach. It's very important because once you just understand the target, then everything else will line up from that. So that is your target market. So key performance indicators, key performance indicators. So this is where you track your results. You have to have a strategy where you can track your results. There's no way, as I talked about before, if you go out and do offline marketing, yes, you know the zip codes. There are some places when you go to the mail and you want to do some mailers, right? So you go and you say, this is how many zip codes or how many homes is in this zip code. Or we have those who have TV shows or radio shows that have zip codes or households, but you don't actually know who's actually watching. So you have to have some type of analytics that will show you that these are the people that are watching. On social media, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you have the indicators, you have the analytics where you can see how many likes you have. At the end of the month, you can put strategically which dates, which weeks you want to do, right? So with that, you can be able to tell how much engagement that you actually have. With a household, you can't really tell because you're just mailing it, but you don't know if it even makes it out of the mailbox. So these are the things that are key when it comes to a strategy. You want to put strategies together that will give you all of the benefits of knowing what's actually happening. Sometimes if we don't get any KPIs, if our analytics aren't looking a certain type of way or they aren't growing, you have to go back to the drawing board and see what is it about my product, what is it about my service that is not attracting potential customers or clients that are actually turning over, that are purchasing, that are spending money. And so you need these analytics in order to backtrack to try to understand your process in the strategy process. So key performance indicators, also known as KPIs, if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it or improve it, right? That's why tracking and analyzing our digital efforts on a regular basis is important to optimize your digital strategy and tactics in the long run. So one of the things that I like to say as well, there are some different types of digital marketing that you can do with partnerships, such as your website. So if you have a website and you have another company that puts their ad on your website, or if they have a link to their website and you form this partnership of advertising, which is another market. It's another marketing tactic that you can utilize. If you do that and you have these analytics, you have these key performance indicators that will raise your platform to the next level. I'll give you an example. For the radio, I'm a radio show host for GMT Radio. Our monthly average is about 70,000 listeners at the very least. So what happens in the marketplace is if I want to put a client's commercial on my show or on our platform, I can charge a large amount of money because I have the analytics to prove that I have that exposure. So if you don't have the analytics, there's no way that you can prove it. If you know that you aren't getting the engagement, there's no way that you can improve it because you don't have those statistics and those KPIs that'll show you that you need to do something different. So let's talk about it. Let's talk traffic. So the most obvious example of traffic would be website hits, social media networks, engagement, and so much more. So we talk about website hits. Website hits are when you can go into your back office and you can see how many hits that you've had for the day, how long have people been on your actual website. And those are key indicators. Those are key performance indicators, because you want to know if your website is drawing enough attention. You want to know if you're getting hits. You want to know if your social media, the platforms that you're building, the relationships that you're building are actually driving to the website and it's turning into a conversion, which we're going to talk about. Also, your social media network. How much network do you have? One of the other things that I love to share is that your social media network, you can put all of your networks together. If you want a partner, a strategic partner, if someone wants to advertise, if you want to add a link or whatever the case may be, there's another source because of charging a certain amount of pricing because of your network. My network on social media is over 40,000 in my network. So if I'm going to approach someone who I need to sponsor, or if I want to approach someone that wants to advertise with me, I have those numbers to prove based on the key performance indicators and the analytics that I can be able to utilize when I'm pricing, when I'm putting packages together for those who want to partner with me. Traffic to lead ratio. So this is measuring traffic, is to measure how much of the traffic actually converts into leads. And as I said before, target the strategy, your target, understanding which platforms, then your target market, where you're going to utilize, where you're going to place the places that you're going to put your exposure, your digital marketing. And is it converting into leads? Is it converting into leads? Is it converting into money? Is it converting me into building a better relationship? Is it converting me into having an additional meeting that I can present a package to? Is it converting me to a lead where if you are a business of, let's just say, a boutique? Is it converting me to a lead where I can actually go into a boutique and sell my merchandise? So those are the things, the traffic that leads to ratio. And then this is the ultimate, the page conversion rates. Page conversion would be measured using a percentage of the total visitors to the page that ultimately goes on to convert. How many of those who are going to your page are actually converting? It's a percentage, which is very, very important, because everything that you do from the beginning to your social media sites, the different platforms that you use, you want to make sure that they're converting over to dollars. And how do you do that? You have to make sure that you put out the correct content. You have to make sure that you're selecting the correct target audience. And you have to make sure that each platform that you utilize, that you're putting specifics on there for that platform. And I'm going to talk to you about why do you have to put different things on different platforms as well. Okay, so what is your content strategy? Content is king, distribution is queen. So you have to define a clear digital content strategy that fits to your core audience, a tone of voice true to your brand's identity, and a cadence realistic to your resources and your budget. Are you familiar with the 1% rule? I know I wasn't familiar with this rule. So also known as the 90-9-1 rule. This rule, defined almost a decade ago, states that 90% of people online are lurkers, 9% are contributors, and 1% are content creators. Your business has to be part of the 1% who feeds efficiently the remaining 99% with a great digital content. See how we can help your business with our content marketing services. And this is something that I find that I get upset a lot because some people are all over the place in their content. Some people have a graphic designer that hasn't went through the necessary steps to understand what is it that you need to build and how do you move forward? How do you do drip campaigns? What makes sense to be built for a drip campaign? If I'm targeting this and you're creating this, which is on a broader scale, then I don't really have a specific target audience, which is it's almost like taking the long way around when you can take the shortcut if you just understand the process. So who will be reading your content? That is your target market. We talked about that. So when you are building content, or when you have someone who's building content for your brand, you have to make sure that it's target specific. Do not general content builds. Again, it's taking the long way around. If you are going to, let's just say, prime example, if I was doing a Rottweiler commercial, or I was building, I wanted a Rottweiler, I wanted some type of dog, and I'm building, or I had someone build content for just all dogs, That doesn't make sense because I want a Rottweiler. So why wouldn't I build content around what it is that I want? That's the same aspect that the potential client looks for. If you don't have anything that they want specifically, then they're not going to read it. We talk about digital marketing. Some do the same colors for their brand, some do not. I am one, I like to be creative with things, with my targets, because I think it pops. I think people look at it as something different. Once you combine colors all the time, sometimes people don't actually read because they think it's the same thing. It doesn't look different. So I do things differently to catch the eye. But these are things that you need to understand when you are searching for a graphic designer. If you are a graphic designer, these are questions that you need to ask your clients because it's a process. It's not just one that you just do in order to gain everybody. If you're more target specific, it'll bring more exposure to what it is that you're bringing to the marketplace. What problem will you be solving for your target in the marketplace? So if I have to figure, why would someone purchase from me? What problem am I going to solve in the marketplace? If I'm not solving a problem, people, right, especially right now during COVID-19, people are not just spending money like they normally spend money. They are putting money in places that they need to make sure that they're getting a return on their investment. So what problem are you solving? What are you going to do in order to make someone purchase a book, purchase whatever services that you're providing that's going to be solved, and build your content around that. Build your content around the problem that you're going to solve. Because if I know that I need a plumber and I'm looking for a plumber, I need to see plumber content. I don't want to see the grass content. I want to see, I want to see somebody who does actually plumbing. And so that's what you have to understand as well. You have to make sure that you're solving something in the marketplace in order for them to want to purchase from you, in order for them to want to get services from you, or any type of merchandise as well. So what makes you unique? Why would someone buy from you over someone else? And this is the creative space again. And the reason why I love to have these workshops, because even the person who needs these specific services, even if this is not in your field as a business, then you as a client, as a customer, as someone in the marketplace needs to understand the strategy. So when you go and speak to someone that you need these services from, you can be able to see if they are aligning with a strategy, or if they're just building something, or if they don't have any type of structure in order to make sure that the steps are making sense and it's actually bringing you the exposure and turning over to conversion leads and turning over to conversion clients because of the strategy. So what makes you unique? Dig deeper. One of my mentors always say, don't be ordinary and average. Do something that's different. And how can you find that? You have to do a competitive research. There are a lot of businesses that are doing the same thing. What will set your business apart? And whatever that is, you have to utilize that as something when you're creating your content. It could be a slogan. It could be your logo. And I share this as well, because a lot of people are saying that you have to change your logo in order for you to get exposure. And that is absolutely not true. I always use the example of polo. There's only two polo men. The same polo has been used. The same logo has been used for years and years and years. But the actual content, the actual clothes, the actual polo shirts, the actual merchandise is what's making the logo. And so when that happens, you just have to make sure that you don't take on something and say that you have to go do something new. You have to change this stuff. Your brand, whatever it is that you're bringing to the marketplace, should be something that you're using in order to continue to bring exposure to your brand. So what sets you apart? You got to do a competitive research. You got to go in and you got to understand what sets my business apart and why will the marketplace purchase from me? Why would they purchase from me? And your content needs to be built around that. Make yourself unique. Do not look at someone else's and mimic someone else's. Yes, you can like it. You can like bits and pieces of it, but what about yours is going to be unique that's going to make others want to purchase items from you or purchase services from you? So that's something that you need to do as well. What channels will you be publishing on? I talked about earlier that there are several different channels, several platforms that you can utilize when you're publishing on, when you distribute your content, your flyers, your videos, your talk shows, your TV shows, and all of those different things. Each platform is different. Each platform is different for a reason. If you looked at LinkedIn and you compare LinkedIn to Facebook, it's completely different. The market is even different. You don't see a lot of entertainers on LinkedIn. You see more corporate, more business, those on LinkedIn. That's completely different from Facebook and Instagram. So what do you have to do? You have to build your content according to what platform that you're going to use. I'm not going to use the same content that I would use on Facebook or Instagram on LinkedIn. And so those are some of the things that you need to look at as well when you're providing, when you're doing digital marketing. Make sure that you're utilizing the platform and you're building content that goes with that platform. What channels? And you have to understand what channels. Do I use every channel? Yes, I use every channel because I don't want to miss the exposure. And what happens is I can add all of those followers. I can add all of those people to my network, which is the best, absolutely the best. Your website, when you're collecting subscribers, those are people that you can add to your network as well for email marketing. So all of these different platforms have so many different ways for KPIs. You just have to make sure that you use them to the best of your ability and make sure that you're not missing out on the exposure because of not being on those platforms. Managing results. We talked about the analytics. We talked about the KPIs. You have to manage your results. You have to you have to look at the analytics in order to, sometimes you have to do things differently. Sometimes you have to change your target market according to the analytics. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I look at my analytics and I look at one flyer from the next. I look at one video from the next. I look at clients' videos, clients' posts. And if this flyer has gotten more engagement than this one, well, what makes them different? Why does this one get more engagement than the other one? Those things that you need to pay attention to as well. And if you have those who are managing your social media sites, then these are things that they need to share with you. Being in the marketing space, being in digital marketing, being a graphic designer, you have to understand the difference, and you have to pay attention to why one is different than the other and try to figure out, okay, why did this one look different than that one? To make sure that either the target market, either it wasn't creative enough, it didn't draw enough attention. Sometimes it could be the same colors used and it doesn't look different, but you have to have something that's going to make them want to read it and want to draw them in enough to the point to where they will contact you either for a meeting, either they'll go to your website and they'll purchase something. If you are someone who have services, or if you have merchandise, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you're managing those results. Okay, so I'm going to go back over the strategy really quickly, just so we can make sure that you understand the process. You understand the process of a strategy. And there are so many other strategies that go with this, your marketing strategy, but I just gave you 5 steps. I gave you 5 steps, and I think these are 5 key steps because the steps will help you. And the little things that you need to know in between will help you as well, because you just want to make sure that you are bringing the exposure that you need, and whoever you're utilizing as far as you're providing the services for you when it comes to graphic design, when it comes to the platforms, just being strategic in your methods, just being strategic. And one of the things that I do with clients, I like to do a brand analysis. And my brand analysis, it asks questions. It's a questionnaire. And from that, I'm looking at what their goals are, because how can I provide digital content? How can I provide marketing expertise if I don't know what you're trying to do? If I don't have the timeline that you're trying to do it in? So I can be transparent and explain to you, okay, you need more than what you think you do, or sometimes don't even know what you need. You just know that you're out. And so what we want to do as entrepreneurs, as business owners, is put strategies together. Have a strategy, have a strategic plan in order for you to see the plan and see the movement in the plan, to make sure that the things that you are wanting to do, the people who you are utilizing for specific services are able to show you, okay, this was your goal. This is the method that we use. These are the results. And what will happen is you'll see the movement. But if you don't have a strategy, or if you don't have a plan in place, then you're just all over the place. And so that's something that we don't want to do. So let's go back to, 5 steps process of planning and executing a digital marketing strategy. What is digital marketing? We talked about digital marketing being a strategic marketing approach that focuses through digital. It's through platforms. We talked about social media. We talked about websites. We talked about email marketing. You go from the concept of what your business is, what devices are actually being used, and what platforms is going to shoot out all of your marketing pieces. The digital platforms we talked about websites, we talked about email. Again, we talked about social media and what is social media, as well as what's the purpose. Some of you probably haven't done any polls. Some of you probably get on social media and haven't even had any engagement with others, but you're wanting someone to purchase your product. So that's the things that you need to do when it comes to social media. I know some don't even like it. They don't even want to do it. They want to go on, like a few pictures, talk to a couple of people, and that's it. But as a business owner, you have to build relationships. And what better way building relationships for an easy, free platform than to build engagement with those who are your friends? If they're your friends, then sometimes you got to do a little extra in order. So once you put something out, they'll trust you enough and say, I want to purchase something from her. Or I know someone who needs their services. So I'm going to make sure, because we built a relationship, that I send them the information in order for them to potentially be a client or potentially purchase something from them as well. So your target audience, which is very important. The main thing when it comes to digital marketing as well, know who are you talking to? What are you bringing to the marketplace, and who are you talking to when you're bringing your specific products, when you're bringing specific things, when you want people to purchase things? Who are you bringing to the marketplace? I always also use an example. You know the difference between rated R and rated PG. So if I know that I want to attract some children to come to a rated PG movie, I need to put out rated PG content. I don't need to put out something for adults, because that's not who I'm trying to attract. So your target audience is very specific, and your content needs to be built based on your target audience. We also talked about making sure that your target audience and what you're bringing to the marketplace and the platforms that you're putting on, that they're different, because the platforms have different target audiences. They aren't all the same. So you have to cater to the target audience as well on your platforms, your digital platforms. What is the difference with online versus digital? Low cost, global, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you can have access to someone purchasing a product from you or going on and wanting some services. It's very lower in cost. You don't have to do a lot of movement, a lot of leg movement. But that's another avenue of making sure that you know, especially during this time, because people are really skeptical about receiving things in the mail, going out marketing. We don't really have a lot of network marketing events that are taking place that are in the physical. And so you just want to make sure that you use the digital platforms that you can in order to build relationships with those and make sure that you are gaining exposure in your business. KPIs, the key performance indicators. These, again, are your analytics. What am I doing in order to make sure that I'm moving forward? I'm moving in my business. I'm getting more clients. I have more traction. I'm getting more people on my websites. They're staying on longer. They're looking. They're trying to search for something. They're purchasing. They're converting over from a social media platform or a website to being my client, and a long-term client. And how else will you know that unless you look at your key performance indicators to see if you need to prove something or if you need to improve something. So those are the two things that you want to make sure that you pay attention to when you're looking at your analytics. Is it something that I need to prove to someone because I want to go in partnership with them and I have this amount of exposure? Or is it something that I need to improve because I don't have it? For some reason, I'm not getting the engagement. For some reason, I'm not getting the conversions. I'm not getting the leads. So those are things that you need to pay attention to as well. And then the digital content strategy. How am I building the content? I need a strategy. I need the target audience. I need the platform, and I need to build to bring exposure so that I can get good analytics of the KPIs, as well as, again, who are we talking to in the marketplace, making sure that everything is category specific. One of the things that I love to do is I do the brand analysis. Then I do a strategic plan. I do research. I go and I look at this company based on what you're telling me, and you're trying to go, the goals that you're trying to meet. What plan can I put in place to make sure that we get there? What do you not have that you need in order to bring exposure marketing to your brand? And so I look at, the search engines. I go and look at the websites. I look at how many places are you already? Do you have enough engagement? How much, how do your social media platforms look? Let's talk about your website. How is it set up? So all of those things go through a strategic plan process. And then we go to the movement. So where you want to go, put a plan together, and have the movement to go with that plan, the strategy that we build from the strategic plan, and then go to the movement so you can actually see that the things that we put in place are actually working. And I would highly recommend those. If you don't have, or if you're working with someone, you need to ask these specific questions. Like, they should know the answers. And if they aren't taking you through a strategy on how we're going to get you to what you're trying to get to, then you may want to think twice. or make sure that now you have the tools, you know what you need to do in order to make sure that you are moving in the direction that you want to move in. All right. So we're going to go to questions. Let's see if we got any questions. Let's see if we got any questions. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. So, while I'm waiting on some questions, um, one of the things that I wanted to share also, like what I wanted to bring back up is there are a lot of people that are doing marketing that are or utilizing marketing services who, you know, are questioning their logos and things of that nature. Get with someone who knows what's in the marketplace and what, you know, what's out there in order to make you unique. That's the biggest thing is to make you creative, unique, and to brand who you are. It doesn't establish, it doesn't dictate, you know, what type of company you are. Your logo doesn't. It's your performance. It's what you're bringing to the marketplace that determines who you are and your business. So we have a question. When starting to build a digital marketing strategy, what would you recommend we do first? First, I would recommend that you understand, look at your brand and see what you have. See what it is that you have as far as your social media platforms. There are a lot of people that don't use a lot of all of the things that are helpful to be able to bring exposure to your businesses. That would be something that I would do. Also, set the business apart to know the target audience, because I think if you know your target audience and where you're trying to go, it'll help you with the strategy on what you need to do next. Because it's a strategy, and if we got to know what we bring into the marketplace, if we don't know what we're bringing to the marketplace, then it'll make it really hard for someone to try to come in. And then what will happen is a lot of people will not see the engagement because they're all over the place. They're just doing anything just to have their business out there, but it's not target specific. So that makes a huge difference when doing that. Any more questions? Should I market on all platforms or just choose one? I say all platforms. I'm one that don't want to miss out on any in the network. I want to make sure that I can add all these numbers together, because you never know who. I make sure, and you should make sure, that you don't miss out on a potential client just because you're not on another platform. Why not be on all platforms and reach people on different levels wherever they are based on you having the exposure? I always make it, if we're going to network, if we're going to go into networking and you want to do business to business with someone, you can have leverage based on your network. If your network is high in numbers, you have leverage to be able to charge certain things when it comes to your business because of the amount that you have in your network. So I say all. I wouldn't say don't do. I mean, it doesn't hurt you to do them all. If anything, it'll be beneficial for you to do. It's not a waste. Do you feel that these certain strategies are best for nonprofit businesses? It's the same strategies. It's the same strategies when it comes to nonprofits as well. I believe that you still have to have a target. I believe you still have to have a target. I believe you still have to have, the platforms that you're going to use. You need the exposure so that you can have sponsors, you can have donations, or whatever it is that your organization is doing in order to make sure that your platform is higher, is raised. And I'll be honest with you, with nonprofit organizations also, now one of the things that's being required, it's not required, but what's beneficial is your network of what they see you do. So when you're trying to apply for a grant and they see the different things that your nonprofit does, they're more receptive of giving you the money rather than not seeing anything. So it's very good to use the same strategies and be able to show them the KPIs, the analytics, and showing your work, showing who you've worked with. It's almost like a resume to make sure that, okay, if I'm going to give them this amount of money, which could be small or large, I want to make sure that they're doing whatever they said that they were going to do based on what I see. So you need that exposure on all levels to be able to do that. Do I have to do live video, or can I just do information-driven written posts? You don't have to do lives. I will say every once in a while, it's always good to hear the person. You want them to feel sometimes. Sometimes they don't get the feeling from a post that's typed up and written. You don't have to do lives all the time, but I do think it's a good switch up. Prime example, if you do a lot of collateral, if you do a lot of posts, people may look at it, people may not. But if all of a sudden you pop up with a live or you pop up with a commercial, you get so much more engagement because it's just something new. It's something that they're not used to seeing all the time. So if you pop up with something with a live, and as we said before, social media is engagement based. So we're trying to engage and build relationships. So if you do a live, you're going to have people asking questions. You're going to have people leaving comments. You're going to have people that may come to your inbox after that conversation. So you're building a relationship. It's more engagement. I know a lot of people don't like to do lives, and I didn't like to do them either. But because I wanted the network and because I was building relationships and understood the method, then I had to start doing lives. So lives are good. You don't have to do them all the time, but it is a good switch up in order to change the eyesight of where you are in your business and who you are. And you'll have a lot more engagement if you just do it maybe once, twice a month, whatever the case may be. You'll see the difference in your posts from lives. You'll see the difference. Any more questions? These are very good questions. Very, very, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been awesome, awesome, awesome. So if we don't have any more questions, and you guys, I'm going to put up, I have an offering for those who tuned in today, which is super awesome. So we're going to go to that. So I talked about earlier how I do a brand analysis, and then we do a strategic plan, and then we actually go into the movement. Well, I have discounted 50% off for my brand analysis consult. What this does is it sends the questionnaire to you. I look at where your business is and I give you a strategic plan. You can either take the strategic plan with you and utilize someone else for the services, or you can contract your services through my company. So I am offering this because I feel that a lot of business owners, they need a plan. If you want longevity in your business, we are blessed with a lot of gifts that God has given us, right? But you want to make sure that if you have made the decision that I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I want to do things the right way. So you want to build a foundation in your business. Even if you have started a business and you're stuck, you may have gotten lost in the shuffle. You don't understand why certain things aren't moving. Don't let your business lack because you don't want you don't know what you need to do next in order to move forward. And so that's the biggest thing that I want to those, especially now that we're in COVID. There are a lot of people who have started businesses during this time, and you just need to know and understand the process. And if you understand the process, then when you're speaking to others who you're working with, who are going to partner with you, who are providing services for you, you'll know the language. You'll know what to ask for. You'll know what you don't need. You know what you do need. So that when it comes to putting packages together and things of that nature, then you understand that. So I am doing an offering of $75 off for your brand. $75 for a brand analysis consult. And it could be applied towards a package that you receive from me. So I am going to offer that to you. I said just for today, but I'll let you think about it over the weekend. And I put the information low as well at the bottom. You can get in contact with me through my social media platforms if it's something that you need to ask. But I just think it's beneficial for those who are going in business or who are in business to just understand the process. And what better way to move forward or understand with my consult. So I'll do a brand analysis and a strategic plan that'll put you in the movement process of what you need to do or restructure what you've already started, because that makes a difference also. I know sometimes we live and we learn. Sometimes, life realities have taken place and you don't understand what you need to do. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't know what resources we need to use or who we need to use. And so we'll put a plan together to be able to do that. All right, so here is my contact information. I am Meka Diamond, Invisible Evidence on social media. I'm on Facebook, all of those that you see here. I am on all of these social media platforms, as well as this is my email address and my website. So if you want to go in and look at the website and look at some of the things that I provide as far as services, you can do that as well. If you want to go get some, I'm always one to say, if you want to go talk to my clients that I have, I don't mind, because I feel like if you have a business that is growing, if you have a successful business, if you're credible in your business, you should be able to have those who want to consult with your clients for information to find out what type of business owner I am. And I talk about that as well. Like in this day and age, you have to understand who you're going to partner with. And what better way than to ask some of previous clients, ask some clients that you have now as a business owner, or ask them. And it shouldn't be no offense. to the business owner if you want to ask questions to their clients or former clients, because one thing that we want to do is make sure that we're credible and we're conducting credible business. So, all right. All right, Miss T. Thank you guys so much for
Hey.
tuning in today. It's been awesome.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I have been taking notes over here on my own. I was like, oh, I didn't know. Okay, here we go. Let me add this to the knowledge base. And I appreciate you taking the
Mhm.
time, Mika, to go into
Thank
that
you.
deep dive. I mean, that was clearly an amazing lunch series presentation on digital marketing. For those of you who are listening, I mean, it was free too. That's the crazy part. But
Yes.
we do that because we do that. We at the Collaborative You, we're doing that because we want you to know that we're investing in you so that when you're ready
Right.
to take yourself to the next level, you know who to invest in. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I just want to put up a cut that down. I just want to, I'm sorry, y'all. I got my grandbaby with me. And he is watching us. They say train the children. And
Yes.
so I brought him in here to watch this. But the Collaborative You, we do have partner openings. I want to throw that out there for thought leaders. Visit our website today. We have partner openings in wellness. We have partner openings in legal, entertainment, in different areas. So for those of you who are thought leaders and you've been looking at this and you've been thinking, you know what, I've been thinking about monetizing my knowledge, this may be a great opportunity for
Mhm.
you. Absolutely. And then for those of you who are interested in getting the replay, because this will not be up all day, every day. No, you will have to invest in the replay right now. You can do that. Go to bit.ly BYG Summit. All right, guys, we're not going to hold you any longer. We may leave this up for one more hour. For those of you who started your lunches late, you may want to come back. But I guarantee you at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, this will not be available. So catch it, and I do mean catch it.
Yes.
Thank you again, Mika
You
Diamond.
are
Tell
so
them
welcome.
one more time how they can reach you. I think I have the slide for it, but tell them one more time how they can reach you.
Awesome. Yes. So you can go to visibleevidence.com, or you can reach me on any of my social media platforms. I'm Meka Diamond or Visible Evidence. So any one of the platforms, I'll be more than happy to assist. And I'm super excited about being a part of the Collaborative You.
Absolutely, y'all. She's one of our thought leaders. All right. Well, we're going to give you 9 of your minutes back because this was from 12 to 1. We're giving you 9 of your minutes back. We thank you so much. Join us next week. Next week is the final week for the Birthing Your Greatness Summit Lunchtime Learn series. Guys, and we bringing the heat next week. I mean, we bringing the heat. So please tune in and we look forward to seeing you. Peace. And we are out.